Sometimes recovery involves monitoring through different diversion programs Carroll County offers. Diversion programs are a safety net for people struggling with a substance use disorder who have encountered legal issues. These programs, through team staffing, help monitor individuals and help redirect them throughout the process. Elizabeth Ingraham, Senior Assistant State's Attorney, joins us on Real Talk to tell us about the different intervention programs she oversees through our office. Elizabeth, I am just delighted to have you here. We work together. I get to see you on a regular basis. But I think a lot of the community and people that might be watching this, we talked a little earlier about some of the diversion programs, but these are actually programs that you actually oversee through our office. And I just wanted you to kind of go through and talk a little bit about the early intervention program, the drug treatment court, and our LEAD program that we have.
So the three primary programs that I work on right now are the law enforcement assisted diversion program, the LEAD program, the early intervention program, and I also work in the drug treatment court program. The law enforcement assisted diversion program, the LEAD program, is a partnership with several other agencies in the county, and the way that works is a law enforcement officer would, instead of taking someone to jail to book them for a petty low-level offense, they would give them the opportunity to engage in services. It's a harm reduction approach, but it would give them the opportunity to maybe get counseling, help with housing, and get connected with resources that they may be needing at that time. The early intervention program, which is a partnership with the state's attorney's office as well as the courts, is a program where the court is willing to defer disposition or postpone disposition or sentencing on a case and give a defendant or a participant an opportunity to engage in treatment, engage in services, complete testing, and then after a period of time, that person could potentially have that case or that charge removed from their record. That's ideal for people who don't have a serious criminal record, and it would give them an opportunity to end up with a clean record at the end of their treatment. And the last program that I work on is the drug treatment court program. That program is typically designed for individuals who have a much more exposure to the criminal justice system. They typically have a lengthy record. The crime which they're charged with may carry much more jail time. And those are individuals who are high risks, high needs, and it's a wraparound program. It gives them a lot of support, a lot of structure, and it's a longer program. It's 13 months minimum. Many participants are in that program for much longer, and it's sort of a last stop, so to speak, for individuals who potentially would be going to prison.
So the LEAD program is pre-arrest, so they're not really in the court system yet. They actually just are stopped on the street or somebody refers them, and that's how they enter into the LEAD program?
Correct. So it could be a social referral, which means a police officer is walking down the street in Westminster. They see an individual and they offer them services. It could also be a referral through a case where the person has been charged with a crime, maybe a retail theft, a crime that it would be considered not serious in nature, and the victim in the case would be comfortable with the person engaging in services versus being charged with this offense.
And as for the early intervention program, you had mentioned that at the end of that there's an expungement process. And I know that's really important for people that are in recovery, starting their life over, to be able to get an expungement, because having that off the record, and I'm not sure that everybody knows really what an expungement is. Can you kind of explain a little bit to the viewer what that is?
So traditionally, the early intervention program is designed to give the person a dismissal of the charges. It's called a null pros of the charges after they complete the program.
Does that mean that if they're going to get a job, that it wouldn't show up on something that they're filling out? If they fill out an application, it wouldn't show up in a search?
Well, it would show up until they have it expunged. So it would give them the ability to then have it expunged. They would file a petition with the court, or their attorney would do that. And it would give them the ability to have that removed from their record. So traditionally, ideally, a person in early intervention would complete the program, they would do well, they would graduate from the program, and then the state, the prosecutor, would dismiss the charges, and then that person could go and have that expunged from their record.
And as far as drug treatment, so there's a whole staffing process. Do you guys in that process say that an individual relapses in the middle of that and they start actively using again, maybe not picking up new charges, but you just come to know that they are in active addiction again? What's kind of the process to redirect them?
So for drug treatment court, the nice part about that is we have a team that does staffing. So we have individuals from agencies all over the county, and we have a coordinator who sort of brings everyone together and ensures that we are staffing each participant every week to check in, see how they're doing, see if they need any additional services, and in a situation where they've used or they've had a relapse or they've broken a house rule or they have a housing issue, we meet together and we talk about options, we talk about resources that we can kind of lead them to and help them get back on track. There are situations where they may relapse on a drug like fentanyl, and we're concerned about their safety, and they may end up in the detention center for a period of time. But for drug treatment court, the goal is always to quickly get them back into treatment, quickly get them back into stable housing. So we try to act fast and get them from the detention center to a stable housing or treatment center as quickly as possible.
As a prosecutor, you probably went to school and you get out and you come to work at a state's attorney's office. Did you think you'd be spending more time putting people in jail than what you've been doing? Because you are kind of the face of our office for the diversion program. Is that something different than you had planned?
Originally, I actually wanted to be a defense attorney. So this is kind of something I was interested in from the start. And then as I became a prosecutor, I realized I loved it, and I realized that was the right fit for me. I wanted to be a prosecutor. I enjoy trying cases. I enjoy taking cases to court and handling them, and I enjoy advocating for victims. But after having done that for many years, it is a nice change to be in a situation where you can advocate for victims, but you can also change the trajectory of one defendant's life. And that may mean that one defendant then goes out and changes someone else's life, or they change their children's lives, and they do things to make a positive community, a community where I live and work. So it is nice to have a different view of the court system and to make an impact in a different way.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is just really awesome. That is, there's community policing and there's community prosecuting. That's kind of how I see that. I really appreciate you coming out and being here today. I really love working with you, and I love being a part of some of the programs that you spoke of today. So I just really appreciate it. Thank you, Lizzie, for coming out.
Thanks for having me.
As we have heard today, substance use disorders sometimes require legal monitoring through the court system. It is important to know just because you have made some legal mistakes, there are ways to clean up your record through some of these programs.